Hey, everybody, it's yours truly, the Iceman, Jamie Dundee, and you're listening to Wolfie D's Live and in Color, because don't diss the man or we'll bum rush your mother.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D, from his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Hey guys, welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D, and we have got the episode that we've been working and trying to catch the slippery son of a bitch, Jesse Ice, and we finally got him on today. And Jimmy, we know this was going to be a wild one, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. If you are easily offended, if you are, super snowflakey, I don't know how else really nice to say it. You may want to skip this one. I'm just putting that out there. There's Jamie. We all know Jamie says things that can offend some people. So good morning.
Listen, anyway, who cares? Come on, get over yourself. That's what I say.
Put that out there, but
yeah, no, and that makes sense, man. But hey, look, first off, I thought we were doing a Halloween episode, and then you're like, no, I got something different, and I'm like, it's Halloween. Today's Halloween. What are we going to do? I got something different. And I said, what do you got? And he said, Jamie Dundee. And I'm like everything. I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, that's the show. That's the show. I
mean, what could be scarier than Jamie with a mic?
Exactly. So, I mean,
in itself, right?
I mean, dude, I'm just saying, we have waited this is our 67th episode, and 66 episodes before then, we wanted Jamie on each one of those, or one of those, let's just say that. And now it's happening. I mean, honestly, I know we're about to call him and everything and bring him on the line here, but I just cannot believe it's about to happen, dude. And I don't think I will until it's already over. You know?
I just think, some people you either hate Jamie or you love him.
Right.
And he is one of those people that very misunderstood. Also, Jamie, I don't know how to really put this without being rude, because I love him to death, but Jamie's he's not all there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that plays into his ability to control what he says and think about what he says sometimes before he says it. But I love him like a brother, man. We've done so much together, and man, I'm ready to get him on the line, and let's blow this popsicle stand.
All right. So he is a true original, and yes, y'all are brothers. And Wolfie, I just want to say thank you for getting him on the show, man, because I know this is not an easy task. I mean, you worked with him for years. To control or try to even pin him down, I know is tough. So he's said it before. He's not easy to tie down. So yeah, I agree. Let's just shut up and get him on the line. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey guys, can't wait to tell you about Will Medley and his crew at Medley Welding in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Custom welding services such as utility trailers, decorative metal artwork, fire pits, custom mailboxes, you name it, they can do it. They even repair trailers and farm equipment if that's what you need. They've been serving the Middle Tennessee area for 30 plus years and can't wait to help you. You can find them at Medley Welding on Facebook or give them a call at 931-581-6324 today. Hey folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
We are back, and as we alluded to earlier, we have got the slippery one himself. It's taken me 47 episode. No, how many episodes, Jimmy, are we at?
66.
66 episodes to make this happen. Everybody's been asking about it. And I mean, there's really no hiding. Might as well just go ahead and say, Jamie, it's glad to finally have you on the show.
Wolfie, I appreciate it. At 66, I should have waited and came at number 69.
Hey, we tried to have you on the 1 year birthday show, but couldn't get you there. Had to go with Randy Hales.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that was exciting.
Actually, Jamie, you won't really believe this, but he still holds the record for 1 day downloads. Not the whole week, but the first day he holds the record for.
Well, I mean, honestly, Randy been around a long, long time. Randy has a wonderful wrestling mind. I mean, so if you want to talk wrestling, Randy Hales will be one of the ones to talk to it about for real.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've all had our ups and downs, and but Randy, we owe Randy pretty much everything we did. If we would have never got that push from him, we wouldn't have done the rest of the stuff we would have done. I do not believe.
Yeah, right. I believe that 100% too. But also to owe him, you rode with him. I don't owe him.
I just have to be in his ear a little closer, I guess.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. Hey, I loved it, man. It was great. It was fun. I don't remember much of it. It was fast. It flew by quick.
But the thing was, we all put in so much of that. It wasn't just Randy, and he admits to that. No. It was me. It was you, Tommy. It was Doug. It was the rock and roll.
Yeah, right. It was a little bit of everybody's made one, and it made a good one.
And it's just like a football team. When everybody's competing for that same goal and everybody's on the same page, that's when the magic starts to happen. And
yeah, that's right. Well, see, everybody was still hungry, like wanting to run. You know what I mean? We wanted our run, and Tommy wanted another run, and Doug, he was like the Gilberts. He's part of the family there forever. So I mean, it worked out very well, actually.
Yep, and we all got along, but we also had our issues with each other. But
I mean, that's life in general. We spent 365 days a year together, man. I mean, fucking 20 hours a day. The only the other 4 we were just doing something. But I mean, we were somewhere close for years. Well, 7 or 8 years, wasn't it? And that just happens, man. People get on people's nerves.
Yeah, and me and you actually quit riding together because of it. We just got to where we. And I don't think that's a knock really on our friendship. I just think that's just natural, man. It was like, fuck, I got to get away.
Of course it's natural. I mean, in life,
you both have, over the top personalities like most wrestlers do.
I was a junkie. I smoked crack and I didn't want to share none. I didn't know if you wanted one or not, but I didn't want to share it. So I could roll by myself so I could do my own shit.
Let's get rid of the elephant in the room, man, because I know a lot of people saw some of this.
All right, see you later, Jimmy. See you, Jimmy. I got you. The other elephant. All right.
The other elephant. That's funny. We got mad at each other, and some of it was on the internet and on different podcasts and stuff like that. And the thing was, and I want to tell my side, and then I'll let you tell yours. We kind of talked about it in Portland that night, but we also kind of skipped over it. So my thing was just, I felt like you lied to me. And I didn't understand why you would just not tell me, because it's not like I've never seen you no-show before. So I was like, why the fuck is he just lying to me? And then the other thing that just blew my mind, and it's still, I really don't understand it, but it's your prerogative. I don't understand. And even some of the other guys that I talk to at these conventions, where's Jamie? I'm like, he won't do these things. And I don't know why. I said, all he's got to do is sit here and sign autographs. And everybody just shakes their head, It's so what, and I saw your rebuttal on another show, and, you said wrestling makes you want to act funny and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. You say it how you want to say it.
I mean, Wolf, I love it as much as I hate it, and I miss it as much as I'm glad I'm not there, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, it was my life. It is our life. It's what we are, who we are. But man, it just makes me sad when I go to places like that. It makes me, I'm not happy because I miss it so much, I guess. And it's kind of like, fuck, I don't know. It's kind of like when I was in jail and they wanted me to go outside and work on a road crew and come back in jail. I'm not doing that. You let me outside, I'm going home. You know what I mean? I mean, and so if I go to wrestling, it just makes me so sad that I can't do it no more, and I don't do it. I don't know. It's one of those things. I have to try to let it go, man. You know what I'm saying? If not, I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to be. I just can't be around it, man. It just changes my personality. It changes who I am. It makes JC Ice come out, and that dude don't give a fuck about nothing. I get in a lot of trouble when that dude's around, man. So I mean, it really is. So my life is mellow and it's humble and it's. I don't know. I guess so many years of this shit. I don't know. I just can't go around. It just changes.
And I get that, and I also think that you're thinking of because it's really not the party scene no more. You know, you go to these things and everybody's older, everybody's, really just sitting there having fun. Hey man, how you been? Hey, let's have dinner tonight. And, one of the first ones, the one that you missed, no, it wasn't that one, it was a different one. But anyway, me and Road Dogg and James Storm and my girl, we all had dinner, and we laughed the entire, we laughed.
We laughed, as Doug would say, we laughed.
And it was a great time, man, and nobody drank nothing, nobody smoked nothing.
No, I mean, I understand it. I guess, I don't know, I guess it's not even, the party scene was not even like across my mind. It just makes me sad, man, and it just, when I go there, I'm like, fuck, man. It's just, I don't know, Wolf. It makes me sad, man. It doesn't, I don't get joy out of it.
Because, like right now, retro is popular, man. And it's very hard. And that's another reason I think I took it the way I did, because as well as I know, I can get some of these bookings by myself, but they really don't want just me. They want PG-13.
Well, but here's the thing. Well, it was one of those things I told you. I said, yeah, I'll go. And then it went from 3 bookings to fucking 9 or some shit for the same amount of money. And once I drove to the mountains, which was 8 fucking hours from my house, I thought, okay, I'm only 3 or 4 hours from New York. No, I was still 10 hours. I'm like, Because yeah, right. But
busted out
all of that just played a part, and plus I had $50,000 of cash in my pocket, and I didn't care. That's another true statement there. I mean, that's the main reason I said I don't fucking go here for no $900. Fuck this guy.
$900
or whatever. But I mean, it just went from 3 bookings to fucking now we're going to jump in the car. We got 3 in one day, and I'm like, what? And we got a Sunday added, but the money ain't changed. Nothing's changed except we're just going to.
It was all simple. It was super simple.
Well, I don't know. Just to me, it just sounded too. I don't know. It was just one of those. I just can't do it.
For one meal. I didn't pay for her plane ticket. It was
right. They tried to fly me in, but I'd already had that mountains thing paid for and booked, so I'm like, well, I'll just drive. And once I drove to the mountains and laid around a couple of days, it was freaking 10 more hours. I'm like, fuck me, man. I thought it was like right down the street.
Did you forget how to read your atlas? Did you forget how to read your atlas?
I did pull my atlas out, and it was like 5 inches long on the map. And I'm like, God, each fucking quarter inch is 100 miles. It's 500 more miles. I can't make it.
Remember when we pulled into what was that town? We pronounced it Turl, and it was Earl.
No, we said we said Turl, and the guy thought we said Earl. And he sent us 45 miles the wrong way to Earl, Arkansas, instead of Terrell. It's Terrell, Arkansas, not Turl.
Yeah. We saw the sign. We was like, motherfucker.
No, they were at the wrong town. I remember one time we wrestled in a town, and the place was packed in Arkansas, and the Buddy Wayne was going to try to beat us and take the belts off us. And we said, we ain't fucking doing that. And we walked through them people and went to Applebee's and got drunk. And it was a good move, because Lawler would have been mad, he said.
Yeah, I've told that story on here a few times where Buddy had the popcorn up in the air. And God,
what did you prima donna?
Son of bitches.
He said, who gonna think y'all could ever beat them? It was that bobsled dude that was an Olympic bobsledder, and the big muscle dude, Mr. World Class. But he said, who the hell's ever gonna believe y'all could beat them? He said, damn.
The funny thing, and I don't know, I've covered a lot of our stuff, and I don't really want to go back and, hey, Jamie, how'd you get started in wrestling? I don't want to.
Right. Sure.
The fun thing was, and some people know this, some people don't, but you was running around the National Fairgrounds in your little jumpsuit, looking like your dad and being all brash, and I was to the show.
Never happened.
I couldn't stand it. I was like, who is this little motherfucker? And for us to then meet, it was not too many years later, probably not even 3 maybe before I got in the business and you was wrestling. And then, we started having matches with each other and we clicked really
and very good matches. I had them on video and very, very high. Matter of fact, I just watched me and the Medic in a chain match from Central City just like 48 hours ago. And it's a hell of a match.
That's awesome.
And so Chris put us together and said, you guys should do this as a tag team instead of just wrestling.
Yeah, he did. He wrestling each other. He said, y'all should do that together. Like, see, y'all could be like the new breed.
Yeah. And it all worked out, man. Out of everything we did, I really should save this for the end. It'd be a good end question, but I'm just flowing with it, man. Because people ask me this all the time. What was your favorite match? What was this? That's such a hard question because there's so many ones for different reasons. And like
sure
where or whatever. What do you think like for you is like that's my shit right there. I did that.
I mean, shit, like you said, there's so many of them,
I'm just talking about
without Danny Davis. When we first started, without Danny Davis matches, we would have never learned to become wrestlers. People ask me all the time, did your dad train you? I say, yeah, my dad trained me, but Danny Davis taught me how to work.
Yeah, I say that.
I mean, he did. He honestly did 100%. Just took me and you and said, he taught us the right way in the ring, live in front of people.
Yeah, and before that even. I mean, think about we got to work with George Weingroff. We got to work with Terry Adonis.
Oh, yes.
We got to work with Duke.
Barry Horowitz. Those guys could get down and go, brother. J.D. Wolf, that guy, they don't remember his names, but by God, them guys could go, man. They would kill most of these people of today when it comes to getting down in the ring, man.
Yeah. Who is that, Jimmy? There's some kid or some new guy or something said that the veterans couldn't hang with the new guys. Who was that?
Hangman Page said that.
Yeah. He's one of those guys.
Shit, really, man. They would put him in a wrestling hold and they wouldn't know how to get out of it. The match would be over anyway.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
George Weingroff in 1971, the year I was born, he was a fucking Olympic medal winning fucking wrestler and shit, man. I mean,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I guess my match that I would say is it would have to be PG-13 versus the Rock and Roll in Louisville.
Oh yeah.
That moment when that building that was just what a fucking pop, man. I mean, for real, that was, to me, that is the Andre putting Hogan over moment for me in my career is what I feel.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean. I mean, that's what I believe. That's the one that shot us to above and beyond. And then the one with the Road Warriors, shit, they didn't want none.
But, the funny thing is about that match, man, that was a
hell of a match for television entertainment.
Yeah.
How many times have the Road Warriors squashed somebody and you don't even remember?
Oh my God! That's what I said. We weighed 170 pounds and 200 pounds. Them boys killed God and Moses on the fucking. Them dudes that beat everybody in the world. So to get beat by the Road Warriors was no small task.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a hell of a match. It was entertaining as shit, man.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely.
It was. And just think.
Sports entertainment. That's what they wanted. That's what we gave them. They were actually clapping when me and Wolfie came up the fucking ramp on the back. They done fired us. We done quit, but they were applauding our performance. That is no shit.
And like I said, just think, man, we almost walked away from that and would have never done that.
Well, but we were right for doing that because we got paid the money they took away from us, because they actually took our fucking money when they took them tickets back.
Yeah.
So when Sean said, I'll make sure y'all get your money every Monday, I believe Sean. My dad gives Sean his first start, so I figured, hey, Sean, it's not that Sean owes me, but Sean ain't going to bullshit me. Fuck Bruce Pritchard. That dude was a lying. He was trying to tell us lines that my fucking daddy made up. Jack off.
Wow.
I mean, for real. I mean, I'm 100% shooting right here. I guess y'all could tell, that old half-a-face fucking Jim Ross is going to come and, hey, Wolfie, let me upgrade your tickets here, man. You fucking little worm. Oh, where's his loyalty? Oh, my God, I heard he went to AEW. Where's your loyalty, motherfucker? Oh, y'all done got me fired up now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, you know, it's bullshit, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, Jamie, I've learned a lot about you through Wolfie, and honestly, I feel like I know you without knowing you. And
Right.
Well, I think everybody in the wrestling business know that you are a absolute beast when it comes to the microphone. So as far as your mic skills, you're one of the very best, and I'll say that to you in front of anybody you need me to say.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's good shit. I mean, I was always my whole life been able to talk. Even a little kid in school, I was always memorizing songs and singing, and just always, I guess you say, the class clown. I always had to be the class clown. Yeah. But also that helped my microphone skills. Yeah, it's true that, because I am a spur of the moment dude. My shit hits me right as somebody says something, I can follow. I mean, I can't write it down. I can't go be a comedian. Somebody said you should be a comedian. I said I can't, because my shit is spur of the moment, happens right then. You know what I'm saying? I can't write it down and make a script out of it, because I don't know what's going to come out myself. So how am I going to be able to do that? You know? Right.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah. Well, there are going to be a few more here, so hang on tight with me here. So who do you think is the best on the microphone? I mean, honestly, I know we all think you are, but who do you think is the best?
Yeah. Besides me being first, I say a close second would have to be The Rock. Brother can talk, man.
Yeah.
Brother can talk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But
Absolutely.
the Road Dogg, Jesse James, I mean, I believe that's that second generation wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, Dustin Rhodes could do hell of interviews when he's talked and wasn't Dusty Butts or whatever he is now. Dusty Bubbles, remember her, Wolfie? But I mean, that second generation wrestlers, I just believe that comes natural. I just believe you grow up watching your dad on TV in the interviews, and then as a little kid, you just start talking and doing interviews in the mirrors and shit, and get your microphone. You know what I mean? So I believe that. But The Rock would have to definitely be one of the best talkers, and his shit is so original and so good, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think y'all still should have been on that Young Rock show. What about you, man?
Well, I believe Wolfie probably killed that for us. I don't think that'll ever happen. But I would have loved to have been on Young Rock, little young Jamie. But I would have had to been running around saying, "Go fuck yourself," and then the wrestlers would give me $5 because I spoke Australian. And they when we first got here, and they would tell me, "Here's $5. Go over there and tell Kamala to fuck himself." So I'd go, "Hey, you fuck yourself," and they just thought that was the greatest shit in the world. So that's probably why I didn't make the Rock's episode, because I would have to be swearing and it's on network or something.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the thing was, if you were a Memphis fan and you're watching it, because it was the time frame they were doing was when he was there. I mean, Brian was on it, or someone that looked like Brian. I mean, the locker room didn't look right without us in it, but
no, it didn't.
Know how that happened, but whatever.
Of course, right.
One of the infamous characters that was part of our ride, no pun intended there, was the 76, 77 Thunderbird. We had some adventures, and just because I've told some of it, where'd the Thunderbird come from?
Man, my mother had after her, my dad split up many years later or whatever, she had got a boyfriend, and he bought another car, so he had it in the backyard. And I said, "Man, let me have that." He said, "It rains, the roof leaks and it rains." I said, "I don't give a shit. Let me get that thing." So me and Wolfie towed 4 spare tires in the back every trip. Like every trip, we had 4 tires in the trunk with on rims aired up, ready to go. Because sometimes we change 2 or 3 tires on the way to the show. That ain't no bullshit. And when it rained inside the car. We had this big wide Thunderbird. We were just sitting shoulder to shoulder, and nobody on the other side. It was lots of fun. No air, no heat. It was great. We got pulled over by a cop one time, and he said, "Where are you boys going in this hunk of shit?" I said, "Well, we're going to wrestle." He said, "I heard you boys don't make but $40 a night." And I said, "Yes, sir." That's what he said. "Got a hunk of shit car from Jackson to Humboldt for $40 fucking dollars." He said, "I ain't even gonna write y'all ticket because you can't afford to pay it. Y'all boys be safe." That's good stuff.
For those people that don't know, Jackson to Humboldt is what? 30 miles maybe.
about 12 miles or something. And we were driving from Nashville to Arkansas. That guy said, ain't no way in hell when I ride that hunk of shit nowhere. He called my car a hunk of shit. It was the best moment. He said, for $40 fucking I wouldn't drive that hunk of shit from Jackson to Humboldt. He said, that's good stuff.
And then there was
we've been let go by the police many times over shitty cars or dogs got in the pee or all kind of just crazy shit. Plus just being wrestlers. You know, wrestling was big back then as far as because the internet hadn't killed it yet, and TV, well, you only had to watch it. You know, it wasn't dead yet, as they would say.
Right.
It was the last run, I believe. I believe it was the last run of wrestling.
We had the blowout with Raven before he was Raven, and remember we had to push it over that over the hill. Yes, sir.
That son of a bitch. We ended up leaving it on Briley Parkway in Nashville. We done put another transmission in there and said, "Man, fuck that car, Wolf. Let's go." We took off walking.
Was the final straw, but I'm talking about we had.
That was it. We never went back. We got the old Thunderbird. We just left her.
Did the flood take her away?
The flood probably washed her away, but I believe it probably been crushed long before that and sent off to downtown Nashville where the big crane thing is and crushing cars.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they'd have done with that because it was truly a hunk of shit. And it got like 4 miles to the gallon or something. It cost like $85 to go to Memphis, and we were making $80 between us. We were still 5 in the hole before we left.
Oh man,
we ate a mini 99-cent Wendy's Junior bacon cheeseburger surviving. You believe it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Wake up the next morning.
Randy told a story. Randy told a story last time he was on here that you we were at Louisville, and I don't know, it had snowed. I guess he was talking with the building executive people or something like that outside, and you wadded up a big hard ass snowball and his head while he was talking to the guy.
I believe that would be a lie. I don't believe I would ever do nothing like that.
No, I could see when he was telling me the story, I could see your face, I could see his face. He said he went off and he was about to fire you and had to cuss you.
Oh, he can't fire me. Me and you's all he had. He can't fire us. Fuck. Who's gonna get the coke for me?
Oh,
right. I mean, hell, this is 2022. Everybody knows what it used to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I probably did do that. But I mean, I believe if you think rightly, though, that was because he made us drive all the way to Louisville just to pick at a sign.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, he drove there and fucking stand in front with signs. I'm like, you're a moron.
Yeah.
So I hit him with a fucking snowball.
I can just see it busting. I can see it busting on his head.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Hey, you can see him selling with his fingers and his hands on his mouth. And but listen, he can't fire me. Jimmy Cornette told that story that he told Jimmy Cornette to fire me. The fucking guy just closed his company down, going to come into ours and fire me. Bullshit. Yeah. You work for us, you fucking jack off, and your company just shut down. You ain't fucking fired nothing.
I've seen Cornette.
Jimmy used to have to come to my house and build my Christmas presents, so he's below me.
Yeah, so I mean, these are amazing stories. I got to get into this one though, because here's the thing: we've heard Wolfie's side. We've talked to Savio. We've talked to a few different guys, and Wolfie has talked about the Armadito story. Now, what I want to hear from you, Jamie, is the middle time. So basically, Wolfie dips. Right. And then
hell, he leaves me fucking for the wolves, man. He leaves me for dead.
Yeah, and you're there. And what happens at that point? Tell us about that.
At that point, I say to Mike Anthony, "What the fuck, man?" He goes, "Bro, man, has he lost his mind? Fucking, they kill people here." I'm like, "I know." And the next morning, about 6 o'clock, they some beating on my fucking hotel door, bro. And I open up the door, and they're standing there, and they say, "We come to kill the Wolfie." That's his exact words to me was, "I come to kill the Wolfie." And I said, "Look, bro, Wolfie's gone, man. He's fucking vamonos, bro, back to fucking America." And he's like, "I asked amigo," he said, "you fight with honor." He said, "You protect your partner." But he put something in my eye. And I said, "Bro, I don't know nothing about none of that, dog. I just know that he ain't here." And they came in, they went through all the fucking rooms, and they could see it was just me. And they said, nothing else. They just fucking left and shut the door. And I was like, oh my God. But I tell you, the scariest moment of that whole thing was the night before when that fucking riot team came in. I was like, oh no, I am not going to fucking jail and on this fucking island. Right, so me and Wolfie run through the back and try to climb out the back window and shit. And they're like, nah, bro, we're here. Well, no, let me go. We're here to protect you. I'm like, yeah, y'all protected old Brody too, didn't you?
Right, exactly.
Protecting me like that. And that was the scariest part. Me and Wolfie's in the ring again for the second show, and them motherfuckers come in that riot gear, and they stand along the by the dressing room door, and I'm like, oh no, man, this is not going to end well. But I ain't going to prison on this island. It ain't happening.
That's my memory. Is no, I don't want to say the biggest memory, but the funniest part of it, if there is a funny part, is that
it's funny like hell now because we're back here.
The dressing room and we see all of them we go into the dressing room and you're trying to get out the back window like you said, and it's like those school windows, the ones that bend inward, and there's no way you can get out of them or whatever.
Oh, there's no way to get out. I'm trying to break the fucking thing off, man. You're trying to bust it or something. It's one of them ones you crank turn or something.
Right.
Then you do the serial killer hide where you're the serial killer's after you, and you go in the stall, pull your feet up
behind the toilet. Yeah, under the toilet. The motherfucker
Jason is fixing to kick the door in and kill you.
Oh my God.
Hey, brother, and listen, let me tell you, the very next show, right? Me and Mike Anthony go to the next show, and it's just me working with Mike now because his partner's left, and my partner's obviously gone now. And that fucking invader, he's going to call me and Mike. And he goes, let me go. Hey, can I talk to you, man? I said, Mike, man, I'm not going. He's like, yeah, man, come on. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going to talk to this dude like that. And so we walk in the office. I said, you going to this? So me and Mike go in the office. And look, he starts crying and shit and telling me about, with Frank and his son being killed and all. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, where are we going with this shit, man?
Right.
It was crazy, man. I was like, oh, no. And then we sat and drank drinks, and he fucking told us stories about it, and he started crying. I was like, oh my God, what is fixing to happen here? This fucking island, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? And nobody cares. This dude's the fucking godfather. I'm sitting in fucking the supreme being's fucking room, and I'm like, oh, this is not a good thing. He's like, your partner, he's crazy, man. People die here. And then I'm like, yeah, I know, brother. I heard the story before. I mean, what do you say to this fucking guy? And he's crying on me and shit. And I was like, yeah, he's just crazy, man. I don't know, man. I said the motherfucker should have sold. I guess I don't know what the right answer is here, man.
Fucking should have sold, by God.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And then Dutch for a rib 2 times puts on the TV, Wolfie D returns. But single match, and he's like, I just did that just for fun. I'm like, fuck you, man. The police report's gonna show up and, hey, look, it says JC Ice on these shorts, motherfucker. Yeah, but I was like, oh no.
And Dundee I went on your back
one more time. Yeah, Dundee on my back. That was another good story when Wolfie tried to cover me from the police. That cop said, he's right behind that guy right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's another one, Wolfie. Another Wolfie's fuck up that I pay for. Wolfie's girl gets fucking mad at him, and I go to jail. What the fuck, man?
Oh, man. Well, let's hear that one.
We go to my mom's and eat dinner and go to a wrestling show because I got a warrant. She's mad at Wolfie. She just calls the police department and tells them I got a warrant.
Oh, God.
They're going to come put me in jail.
Yeah, it was one of my ones that was a bit crazy. And
those are the best ones, hell.
She thought we were going out to party because we left my house early, earlier than we needed to get to the town. So she thought we was going partying. We went to Jamie's mom's spaghetti, and so we get to the building and these cops show up, and he's got his shirt fucking off with his back to them, and they're saying, does anybody know where Jamie Dundee is? And everybody's looking around like they have no clue. They've never heard that name in their life.
Yeah, that's the shit though. And it shows that cop even said to me in the car, y'all got a bomb or something between y'all? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, what am I talking about? I said, I'm looking for Jamie Dundee. You got Dundee this big on your back and nobody fucking knew who you was? I said, no, sir. And if I had my shirt on, you wouldn't have known who I was.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And another time in life, I was in the ring with Brickhouse Brown in Glasgow, Kentucky, and they come because I had a warrant. for child support. So they came in the door, me and we're standing in the ring, and they came like 4 or 5 deep. And Brickhouse goes, damn. I go, look, they're here for me. I know they are. Fight to the dressing room. We fought all the way to the dressing room. I went out the back door, got my car, and hauled ass. They didn't get me that time.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Me and Brickhouse.
Well, you got to tell the Brickhouse story then with the fan interaction. We've heard it from Wolfie, and I think it's one of the most legendary stories ever. Yeah, where you start the riot.
The Mississippi riot, they call it?
Sir.
The Mississippi riot? Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, bro, all I said to that big old redneck was, don't get mad at me because Brickhouse snuck in the window, banged your ugly old lady, and had that little mixed breed kid you're holding. Brother, that fucking building came unglued, man. Listen, it got so much heat afterwards. We came back 2 more weeks, and the dude canceled the show and quit running. It was fucking packed out. You couldn't put another person in it. He quit running because his grandma was scared.
Oh,
he said, my grandma can't take it. Said these people just think I'm just trying to kill y'all. Police literally had to take us in and out of the fucking town. We had that much heat. It was great.
Yes.
That's a super intense situation. You know what I mean? You get in there,
well, yeah. The very first time it ever happened, Wolfie was in the ring with Danny Davis in Arkansas, and I fucking said the same thing to some guy. Hey, is that your ugly old lady? You should have left her at home. And brother, here he came, man. And I slid in the ring, and Wolfie punched some 90-year-old man and stomped him and shit. Some old man in the ring. Wolfie had to throw him on the ground. I said, Wolfie, he's gonna break.
I hit the first guy, and then when I turned around, there was that little bitty old man just standing there looking at us, and he wasn't moving.
Just looking at us.
And the toughest thing I didn't know what to say. The toughest thing I could think of, because I felt bad for him, was, "You better get out of the ring."
You better get out of the ring, motherfucker. He couldn't get out of the ring. He started coming in the ring before we did.
When you grabbed him by the shirt collar, slung him down, and started stiff working stomping him. Working stomps, pretty much.
Well, here's the thing. I thought he had a knife. I was protecting you.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, he very well probably did.
Yeah,
he probably did, but he couldn't have got it out fast enough. Right. I mean, he was literally that old. I mean, he was just, bless his heart. And Wolfie threw him on the ground. And listen, when Wolfie threw that old man on the ground, that fucking building got real mad. It may have been somebody important, because, I mean, every son of a bitch in the building started coming. Yeah. Oh, man.
And then we just went back to working.
And we went on back to the show. But I mean, hey, the show must go on. The show must go on. Hey, listen, we was nailing that big dude, man, that big redneck at first. I mean, we're giving him all we got. We hit him with chairs, and he wouldn't go down. He staggered once. I mean, like a first shoot staggered. He went to one knee. He said, y'all couldn't knock me down. I said, God, I'm glad he left, man. Kenny hit him with the damn dog chain, and then he finally rolled out.
Yeah. He had knocks.
Yeah, but that was a big old ball.
His face looked like the Elephant Man when he rode out. But
but he didn't go down. He ain't gonna go down. Lawler went down.
Balling, squalling, climbing the wall in old time Jubilee, Lawler.
Lawler. That's old Troy. He gave me my first wrestling mask when I was about 7 or 8 years old. He came to the house and stayed a day. No wonder I grew up crazy. My dad drug all the nuts home.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Jade Roper, the Southern Closer, is here for you if you're looking to buy a home and need the best deal on a mortgage loan. Now, while Jade's heart and soul is helping that first-time home buyer, it doesn't matter if it's your first, second, or the dream home you've always wanted. She is there to help. Jade knows the area, the market, and she's invested in your community. She'd love to help you with all your home financing needs and will make it as easy as possible. All this makes her the official mortgage lender of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Contact her today at 615-681-4282. Email at jroper@primeres.com or just visit thesouthern.closer.com. NMLS 1794506. Licensed in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Powered by PRMI, NMLS 3094. PRMI is an equal housing lender.
Hey folks, this is Wolfie D here, and if you are looking to buy or sell a home in Tennessee or Southern Kentucky, you're going to want to call my buddy, the rock star realtor, Benji Bowie. And you say, Wolfie, how do I get in touch with this rock star? Well, you can call him directly at 615-390-8216. You can go to his website, bowiehomes.com. That's B-U-I-E homes.com. Or you can email him at benbowie34@gmail.com. When you need a home, you need the Rockstar Realtor.
Benji is a member of Exit Realty's Garden Gate team in Gallatin, Tennessee.
I say it all the time, had the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Well, I've told Wolfie, in my opinion, I thought you guys were the next generation of the Rock and Roll Express. And he said, actually, that was kind of the idea. But with that, you all had Doug and Tommy. I know those guys are legendary as well. Tell me some stories about working with Doug and Tommy.
Man, Tommy Rich I've known since I came to America when I was 4 years old. When I was actually 4 years old, my dad and Tommy would have been about 18 or 19. My dad would have been about 30. Yeah. They got me drunk and pierced my ear with an ice cube and some needle, just got the ice ear numb and stick the ice and the needle through it. I'm 4 years old. I take off through the house. Blood's coming and they're just drunk and laughing. And so known Tommy my whole entire life, literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember a time and then, Tommy went off to Georgia and then my sister married Bobby. So I had, the Midnight Express around all the time, watching them work and just, I don't know, that a lot of that had to do with how I guess why I grew up fucking nuts, I guess. I don't know. But with Tommy and Doug was a couple years older than me. And of course, Eddie would say one time, quit fucking with the hair on my legs, son. That's what he told Wolfie. But Tommy and Doug, it's just like we said, when we started wrestling, it was like Danny Davis taught us to work. Yeah. And then from there, we went to Tommy and Doug. And then in between there, we they fed us teams, to get the babyface over like you should. And then, Tommy and Doug, and then Eddie passes away, so Doug leaves. So really, Gorgeous George has to be credited there a lot, because it was really Tommy and George that we worked with, and then we just got another run with when Doug comes back. We get another run with Doug and Tommy. So, right. But I mean, really, George, which he's a wrestling motherfucker anyway. So,
right. Yeah, and that was kind of like when the Midnight switched out with Dennis Condrey and Stan Lane. You know what I'm saying? You guys kept the same.
Right. And then, for each generation, the generation that knows Stan and Bobby don't even know about fucking Dennis and Bobby. You know what I mean? So, and then exactly. They don't even know. Then the ones that know Dennis and Bobby, they don't even know about Randy and because the really original Midnight Express was Randy and Norvell and Dennis.
Right.
Dennis
exactly.
Condrey, Norvell Austin, and Randy Rhodes was the original three, and then, so, I mean, if you ask who the Midnight Express is today to anybody, they're going to say probably Sweet Stan and Beautiful Bobby and Jimmy Cornette. Right. Because they're not going to, the Dennis part was before cable TV.
Yeah, exactly. Your first appearance, and I'm jumping all over here and forgive me for that, but, your first appearance is on Raw, Wolfie's kind of told these stories about how you worked at Al Brown, Sonny Rogers, but you were cutting that promo, you were doing it their way, and it just wasn't working. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, we come from the generation of live Memphis TV. You know what I mean? And everybody's always said, if you can work on live Memphis TV, you can work anywhere.
Yeah.
You can take Memphis wrestling to any country, any company, anything, and you do our style, and it works. You can't bring all their shit to Memphis and think it'll work, because it won't. You know what I mean? I mean, Memphis was the mecca and the homeland of professional wrestling throughout the life, until they closed it down or whatever. But
absolutely,
when that monitor said ice and they had some words, and then it said Wolfie had some words and it said I, and I'm like, wait, what is that, bro? We can't do it because we can't. You can't sell my product. Only I can. So give me the pointers and let's go to work.
Right.
I mean, the same as anything. With the script writing world, you can tell that it's script written, and the reason being is because the person saying it, it's not coming from their heart. You can't. You don't believe it because they don't believe it. You know what I mean? I mean, exactly. Give me the pointer. The pointers were they were the tag team champs. We were going to wrestle them for the belts, and this Monday night, let's go to work. Bam. Hey, smoking guns. You messing with the USWA world chat. Just let us do us, because nobody can write what like we always say. Nobody can write what I got. Especially nobody can write what I'm gonna say, because fuck, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say what comes to my brain. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that's. But I mean, the people of wrestling today don't even understand the wrestling of our day. And just like my dad would say, we don't understand theirs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I guess it's like everything. You must change with time, or time will pass you on,
Right. Man, I still think that Al Brown, Sonny Rogers is a hell of a match and was a hell of a showcase for y'all too, because I felt like it really got some stuff over. Recently Wolfie actually was the producer on the Ric Flair's last match, and he's talking a little bit about how Killer Kowalski was telling y'all, hey, distract the referee on that top rope bulldog, but then he's like, no, I don't really like that. But of course he didn't go to Killer and say, no, that doesn't work. He did it. But now Wolfie's dealing with some of the newer generation who don't take anything from him and then don't do it. Like, they don't listen, It's a different world.
Well, but it's like anything. If they only know what they're taught. It's like anything. From a little age, we are taught something, and we only know that to be true or right or wrong because that's what we were taught. But nobody's taught these people.
Right.
So, they only know they only do what they know, and they think it's right because the guys before them did it because they were watching the match, and the ones before them did it because they were, you see what I'm saying? It's one of those where it's now officially 100% sports entertainment that is script written. Okay.
Right.
Then that's where it is. But as far as, I don't know. They don't give a shit what we say, just like we didn't give a shit what my dad and them said. You know what I'm saying? As far as fucking Buddy Wayne said that my tape on my wrist and me and Wolfie shorts killed fucking Memphis. But listen, because his generation would have never wore tape and fucking shorts. You look like basketball players. You don't allow damn wrestlers.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
So, everything changes, and so it's not their fault. But the ones that will be successful are the smart ones that do listen to the ones before and take a little bit of that and put it with what they got now and make their own.
Yeah, totally.
What I was fixing to say, because that's the part that I was kind of disagreeing with you on, was it's not so much, it's the respect factor. And I saw it firsthand, both on the TNA show that I did and then the Ric Flair show. There's a definite, and I've said this since then on here numerous times, that there's a definite rift between the younger generation and the older that was not there before. We might not have thought everything they said was spot on. And then maybe even found out later, they were wrong about that even. But we had the respect to, like I said, I thought it was dumb that I had to get you to distract the referee to do that bulldog, but that's what Kowalski wanted, and that's what I gave him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in a sense, that's Killer Kowalski. And so he's in that spot to tell us what they want. You know what I'm saying? So more or less, that actually probably would have come from Vince saying, look, next time they do that, you tell them to get the referee. Yada. Or just Kowalski being old school, knowing you need to draw the referee if you're going to do a massive move like that. I guess you know what I'm saying? Because the respect value is, okay, no problem.
Right.
Because it doesn't, you get to do the move, so it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Yeah. If I distract the ref or not, but if that's what they want, then that's what we'll give them. But nowadays, the wrestling nowadays, you can tell that they stood in the back and they went move for move, bump for bump, step for step. And if they fucking miss one of them, they don't know what to do. They panic, they flip out, and it just goes to shit. Yeah. And that's why they should just have the pointers. You should just have the beginning. We always had one open spot, the finish, and we just worked the middle in between. We knew the finish, and we said, okay, we're going to open this to get it going, and then from there we just did whatever came to us while we was doing it.
Yeah.
And the match that I solo produced, is basically, when they say producer now, agent, whatever, and I gave these guys, it was a 4-way match, some lightweight dudes. And I gave them, I said, here's what they want for the finish. I said, but here's an idea to build up for this. I gave them the 4-way miss that we used to do all the time. That's so good. That's so good. That fucking 4-way miss is so good. And then I added to it. and a four-way make where they end up in a pile in the middle of the ring at the end. And this motherfucker says to me, and Road Dogg and Scotty Armstrong had both warned me before I went over. He said, they're not going to listen. He said, just that's how it is now. And I'm like, okay. So, and I told him that, and the one kid, I said, what do y'all think about that? Like 3 of them nodded their heads, and one dude kind of rubbed his hands together, and he said, okay, we'll take that into consideration. All right, so, okay, see you later.
I would have said, you want me to write it down so you can put it in your pocket?
Yeah.
God.
You can go over it a few times.
Yeah. We'll clear the building and let y'all do it once and make sure you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Right. You know, and those guys, especially the guy he's talking about, is 4 foot nothing, basically. Maybe he's in his 5 feet, but you know what I'm saying. What that means to me, though, is PG-13 would rule this current climate of wrestling. Literally, you guys would be, they call them, what do they say, instant classics, you know, destined Hall of Famers. I truly feel like had you guys been around today, y'all are first ballot Hall of Famers. You should be in there anyway, but you know what I'm saying? As it goes, I feel like right now y'all would be literally, you would be naming your price in any place you wanted to work. So,
and hey, let me say this real quick. Having said what I just said about the riff and stuff like that, Jamie, you really wouldn't believe, though, and it's very humbling. I've told Jimmy about some of these dudes. At the TNA show, I had one of these dudes come up to me, and he's like one of their top dudes that's like a lightweight or whatever. And he's like, man, I just want to let you know, man, I can't tell you how many hours of PG-13 matches I've watched, man, blah, 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 blah. And it was kind of like, wow, okay, thanks, man, you know.
Well, but see, here's the thing: you can't teach that. You can't teach what Ricky and Robert had. You can't teach what Bobby and Stan. You can't teach that. That is the psychology part of wrestling. That they can watch it all they want, but they can never. You can't repeat it because it come natural. It was we knew what the other one was thinking. It came together at the right. It click, 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 click. Now you can watch all the fucking footage they want to watch, and that I thank you for that. But if it, you know what I mean. If you can't teach that, man, you can't teach Tiger Woods kind of golf, and you fucking can't teach how we wrestle together. You can't do it. It either it is or it doesn't. You know.
Right. See, I think the internet is actually, yes, it's killed wrestling. 100% agree, but it's also opened up. People being able to see us that hadn't seen us before because it was, you know, just
but check this out, Wolf. If you remember the first time we went to WWF, there was a lot of people that had fucking articles from Springfield, Tennessee, and so I mean, a wrestling fan that is a wrestling fan knows who PG-13 is as far as you know, long before the internet came along, doing the mail orders and all that shit. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, I was so impressed with me. I was like, how in the fuck do all these people got shit? Because you know, Wolf, they tell you, I'm a big mark for me. I fucking love me. I got every single thing I've ever been on. Newspaper clippings, jail papers, fucking warrants, anything. If it's got my name on it, I got it because I love me. And they had things I had never seen. I'm like, wow, I don't have this. I didn't see this. And so, I mean, the internet has definitely killed it more than it's ever going to help it, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, and wrestling fans that were true wrestling fans, they know about, speaking of, in that it gets off subject a little bit, but Miss Delphia passed away, and she wheeled me a whole bunch of wrestling programs, every single wrestling program from Louisville, Kentucky, from 1976, 77, 79, 80, 81, and 82.
Wow.
And in these programs are all these autographs of all these stars that weren't stars then. They were first match guys, and I'm talking to everybody. I've got Andre's Giants autograph, Terry Gordy's, you know, just people that were just coming through, starting their way in Memphis. Their autographs, because Miss Delphia would go every single week, and she would buy a program, put it in the book when she got home, and she just kept them. And I asked her whole life, I'd say, Miss Delphia, when you die, can wheel all that shit to Jamie Dundee? I'd like to have it. And sure enough, she did. And so all of those things, there's lots of trading, like in the letters, you know, pen pals of wrestling, and stories on where Eric Embry went, and the Eddie Gilbert fan club. And the reason I brought that up was because, see, long before the internet, there was people knowing about other companies, other wrestling places, because they were true wrestling fans, and that's what wrestling fans do. People that are wrestling fans are going to know, you know, about our style, who we were, whatever, like anything. You know, the internet, I believe, just hurt it way more than it has helped.
Yeah.
Agreed. And even at the Ric Flair thing, that Bunkhouse Battle Royal, when it was my time to do the hubcap, all those GCW guys, which whether I agree with some of the stuff they do or whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's pretty popular right now. And so every one of them, I was supposed to hit them, and they couldn't. They were climbing over each other trying to, hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It was like an honor to take the hubcap. And I was like, yeah.
Right. But I mean, I can see that. I mean, fuck. You know, it's like I said, when we wrestling the rock and roll I think is our greatest defining moment, and the fucking pop on that. And I was thrilled to take whatever they want to give me. That's the rock and roll, you know?
Yeah.
You know? When we did that WCW DDP, Wolfie's like, fuck yeah, I'll take the stunner off the top rope, baby. I'll take the fucking the diamond cutter off the top, you know. And so I guess you can see that's cool shit, you know. But I can see where they wanted to be the one to say, hell yeah, I took fucking Wolfie D's hubcap, bro.
Yeah. GCW is kind of like the independent scenes version of ECW. They do a little death match stuff, and Nick Gage.
I have his doll, and his doll is the fuck you doll, like those little miniatures of me and Wolfie. His doll has got the fuck yous, and that's over with me. That's over like hell. Matter of fact, I got it out on my wall. So Nick Gage, you made my wall, kid.
There you go. That's awesome. I'm sure he would love that.
Well, he made Dundee's wall of shame.
Yeah, there you go. So with that being said, I've told Wolfie we're destined to get a PG-13 actual living action figure.
Sure enough. I got 2 right here at my house.
You also
they are identical to me and Wolfie, but I got 3 counting the one Wolfie made of me.
You stole my puppet. That's another bone.
No, you gave it to me. You said matter of fact, I was watching you when you said to Michelle, you shook your head, you had it in your hand. She goes, yeah. You go, okay. And you turned, and I was like, he's going to give me that doll.
It was with the understanding that you give me one back.
I did, yeah, but here's the thing: the guy won't answer me because you've got the guy pissed off, and he won't even answer me to buy another one. So I'm like, hey, Wolfie, what you do to the dude? He's all mad and stuff, and it's my fault. Once again, Wolfie did something, and I have to fucking reap the rewards. You get fucking.
I don't even know who he is.
Yeah,
you don't. He's the guy that made the 3D heads of me and you.
That's a different.
Yeah, that's who made them dolls.
Okay.
I paid fucking $300 for 2 dolls of me. I had to buy my own doll. What kind of shit is that?
That's messed up, man.
Check this out. Literally, I had a guy message me the other day on Facebook, and he's got the CD, the overseas version with our voices in it, and was trying to sell it to me. Bro.
We are the nation, come alive and in color. Don't diss the man, overbum, rush your mother. Listen what I'm saying, it's for real, not playing. Farouk is the man, hit your knees and start praying. We are the nation of domination. He's harder than a rock, and he can't be stopped. You suckers step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. The boys from the hood are on the MIC. Spitting out the rhymes is JC Ice and Wolfie D.
Hey, let me tell you what's funny about that is I bought that. Okay, yeah. It's a German copy of Me and You.
Yeah.
But I thought the CD was in solid German, so I was like, how did they translate me and Wolfie's song in fucking German? I want to hear this. And so what he did was he clipped the clips out and he sent them to me, and I'm like, well, that's in fucking our voice. And I'm like, I don't want that shit. I got a copy of that, motherfucker. I'm not paying you $25 for. I thought it was translated into German, and I wanted to hear me and Wolfie sing the rap in fucking German. So if it's not German, I don't want it. So then I guess he thought, well, I'll call Wolfie and I'll text Wolfie and see if he wants to buy it. Because I did actually just tell the dude I was going to buy it, and then once he sent me the clipping, really, which was dumb, because if it was in German, I would have already had the clipping anyway. So, but he sent me the little clipping, and it was in English, and I'm like, dude, you said it was German. He said, yeah, they sold it in Germany. I said, well, I don't give a shit about that. You said it was in German. Yeah. So that's where that guy came from. So he probably just thought, maybe I'll see if Wolfie wants to buy this CD. It's the CD, right? The rap song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in German. Well, I thought it was in German, but it's in English, but they sold it in German. I said, well, I don't care about that.
Yeah. Can we get a little of that in German, fellas?
Yeah, that's what I'd love to hear.
Boom, rush.
Okay, so talking about GCW, I was leading into this. So you all had an impeccable ECW run. Honestly, not a lot of it's taped except maybe on the ECW fan cams. A fan requested that we watch a match with you and Chris Candido. That was actually an awesome match, wasn't it, Wolfie?
Yeah, it was good. I don't know where I was, but yeah.
You was MIA. You was see that was once again Wolfie no-showed. I had to get beat by the Candido.
So anyway, we've talked to Tommy Dreamer on the show, and he was telling a story about maybe like a motion light and a possible beard trimmer and something to do with
me shaving my balls with Wolfie's beard trimmer.
Yes.
I was all up under the tank and everything, man. I was tank shaving, and Dreamer comes by and he goes, "Fuck." Brother DB said, "Brother's got them things shaving his balls," and Wolfie goes, "Hey, that's my fucking razor, man."
Oh man.
Because he took it.
And I said, "Oh yeah, well, I told you I needed to trim up." He's like, "Not your balls, motherfucker. Put that on my face, man. I'm not using this thing no more."
Yeah.
So I ended up with a free beard trimmer. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's a true story. But I mean, I was trimming up, for the after party.
Right. So had you done that before and Wolfie not notice?
Probably.
Every time I ever shaved. But I mean, it's no big deal. Listen, when I was done, I blew it off, banged it. Blew it off. That's funny. Got the hairs out of it. Shit. I cleaned it up a little. Shit.
The ECW run, Wolfie works Taz one night, okay? And we can't quite piece this all together because Wolfie thinks it's
I don't remember that.
And then there were some sugar packets on Wolfie's bag, essentially saying that, Taz is going to sugar Wolfie.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Was that you that put the sugar packets on his bag?
Like I just said, I don't even remember Wolfie ever wrestling Taz.
Okay.
I don't have a clue about this story. I don't remember Sugar, but see, I don't know why he would be in a single match. Just like I don't know why me and Candido was in a single match. Maybe was it that night or something? I don't know. I don't know because I don't ever. Only reason I know that match you're talking about is because I've watched it 100 times on YouTube. Yeah. Or I would have told you that fucking match never happened either because I don't ever remember nothing but me and Wolfie working with. Now, the Candido match, now that I think about it, I wrestled Cronus, Candido. That's when me and Mike Anthony went back up there, and Wolfie was still here in Memphis, I believe. But I just don't remember. So, no, I don't. It could have been me putting the sugar packets on there, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
That sounds more like something one of the ECW boys would do. You know what I'm saying? Because
sure.
I don't think Taz is tough. What is he? I would have never thought that dude was tough. It's fucking work. If it wasn't work, I don't think he could suplex nobody. Was he 4'4"? I mean, for real. I don't even think he could whoop Joey Styles. So I mean, shit.
There you go.
That must have been one because it did happen, but I don't know where you were either. Kind of like that was.
Yeah, right. I don't know why I don't know why they would have said, Jamie Wolfie, you're in singles. You know what I mean? They wouldn't. I don't ever recall. The reason I was in them singles is because you was here, and I went with Mike Anthony back up to Long Island, New York, to do the wrestling school thing for a fucking month or whatever it was.
Okay, yeah.
I don't recall why they, because I just remember Douglas and Taz and them working when we were there back in. Because I don't ever remember that day, but. Yeah, there's a lot of days I don't remember back in them times. So,
well, okay, you brought it up earlier, so I'm going to just go right into it. You tried to give something to the world's most dangerous man.
Well, I mean, it's another one of them things. There's a lot of days I don't remember. The only reason I remember this one is I've been told by every wrestler I've ever seen. It's one of the greatest fucking stories in wrestling dressing room history. It is Jamie Dundee fucked up with an $800 cab bill, passed out in the floor. Ken Shamrock's first day, and he meets me. Al Snow tells that story the best. I've made him tell it to me a couple of times because he does word for word. He said it's Jamie Dundee fucked up $800 cab bill. But the reason I was that messed up was the night before Tony Williams and Brian Christopher had flew this gangster chick into Louisville. We wrestled Louisville on Sunday for some weird reason. And on the way back, man, cut a long story short, we got pulled over by the police and they took the girl to jail. So Brian and Tony had to get the chick out of jail. So the girl's got 1,000 Valiums, 1,000 Xanax, and 1,000 hits of ecstasy. And so Brian and them really didn't do drugs back then. And so they start feeding me the drugs, the ecstasy and the Valiums, because the fucking lights were blinking and shit. And I was on ecstasy and I was like, look at the lights. And I'm naked in the back seat of the goddamn fucking truck. And they start feeding me Valiums and ecstasy, Valiums and shit to try to get me to shut up, because they're trying to call the police department to bail this chick out of jail. But the chick's still in the car behind us, and I'm fucking, it was crazy. Because see, Brian, I used to do these dick tricks in the dressing room. So Brian knew I was all fucked up, and we were in Denny's, and he goes, I bet you won't do the bulldog. And I go, I will do the fucking bulldog. He goes, you won't do the bulldog right here in Denny's. I go, oh, motherfucker, I'll do the bulldog right here in Denny's, goddammit. I jumped up, pulled my pants down, got butt naked in Denny's. The fucking waitress chick, she goes in the back, gets all the cooks. Says, y'all got to see this motherfucker out here, man. And I'm out there walking around doing on the ground like a dog with my nuts hanging in the back as the bulldog and going around in circles, and fucking everybody's popping like hell. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, police are going to show up and ruin the party.
Man, they always do.
They pulled us over and said the chick littered.
Yeah.
And the chick said, listen, you fucking hillbilly ass fucking cop, I am head of fucking so-and-so, like 500 miles of clean road up in New York. I am head of the fucking no littering tree. So I'm telling you, I didn't litter. And he said, you talk to me like that again, I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm going to put you in jail. And she said, well, listen here, man. That was it. He slammed that motherfucker on the ground, cuffed her up, threw her in the back of the car, and took her off to jail. But she was part of that mafia family, the Gambinos. She was a fucking Gambino chick. So Brian and them were going, man, we got to find, I can't go back without fucking, I got to go back to Louisville. I'm like, I can't go to Louisville. I got to go to Nashville, got the Raw in the morning. He said, I'll change your ticket. And then, oh, fuck. I ended up taking like $3,000 out of Brian and Tony's fucking wallets. And I don't know, I went and gave it away and all kind of shit. I was so
my God.
yeah. They were like, dude, you took $3,000. I gave it to these friends of mine named Abby and Bess. They fucking came and picked me up. I gave them like $500, and then I gave like a homeless dude too. I just went and gave it all away because I had to borrow $100 back when I got on the plane.
Oh man.
I got no money. I got no money, and I'm flying to give me some money. So Abby and them gave me $100 back, and then they told me, yeah, you had like fucking a big bag full of money and you just giving it away. I said, well, what a good dude. What a good guy.
Santa Jamie.
Exactly right. It wasn't Santa Jamie. But anyway, Brian turns around, goes back to Louisville, and he changes my flight, and I have to fly out of Louisville he puts me in the wrong town, and I have to get a cab 280 miles. And, a cab ain't cheap, especially up north. It was like $870, and I'm 5 hours late. And then I come in, and I'm just fucking, Jim Ross ain't here. I'm not going to pay that cab. I'm like, bullshit. Says my contract, you're going to pay transportation to and from venue, motherfucker, so pay that. And so then I roll up in there like I own the place and pass out. I get dressed first, though. And Davey Boy and them cover me in shaving cream because they're going to rib me, and they realize this dude is so fucked up. They come and take it back off because they know I'm going to go live on the air with it. And so they literally come and undo their own rib.
No, that's incorrect. Yeah. I showered you off.
Oh, well, I knew somebody. Oh, yeah, I knew somebody showered me off. I thought they'd come and redid their own rib because they always thought because they were going to get so much fucking heat because I was going on the air that way.
Yeah.
and then so I passed out in the floor, and then I believe Wolfie broke my rib. I believe he was kicking me because still to this day I get a fucking pain sometimes. I say, oh, fucking Wolfie. Because I believe I remember him kicking me in the floor. He said, man, you're fucking ruining our job, man. Get the fuck up. And I remember Mankind came and picked me up and sat me on a stool next to him in the shower. And then he goes, Jamie, I've known you my whole life, man, my whole career. He's like, man, he said, this ain't going to affect my career at all. But, man, you need to try to wake up and get the fuck up, get in that shower or something, bro. Man, people are stepping over you. You are so fucked up. I said, man, I shouldn't even be here. He's like, I know, man. I'm like, well, he said, but you are. So I said, Jack, I'm so fucking tired, man. I guess the Xanaxes and shit were kicking in. Hell, the police woke up with the police beat me in the chest on the airplane with the fucking monitors and shit on me. They said, Mr. Dundee, the plane's been empty for like 40 minutes. Yeah. Said, we think you had a heart attack. And I said, I had no heart attack. I'm a fucking wrestler. And I fucking pulled all that shit off, grabbed my fucking bag, and rolled on down the runway to the next fucking ride.
Yeah.
And then I got the cab, and then it was just, and so when I remember looking at the guy and saying, what's your name, boy?
Yeah.
He said, he's tied his boots. I remember this. And he says, you talking to me? And I go, yeah, I'm talking to you, shooter boy. What's your name, boy? What we call you around here in the WWF?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Ken. And I said, jump up and say, Ken. Listen to that, everybody. This is that shooter boy, Ken. Is that what we're supposed to call you around here, boy? And then I throw the leg out and tell him, this ain't no Royce Gracie standing here, son. It's Jamie Dundee. It's the WWF where the big boys play. I said, get you some of this, tough guy. I throw that leg out there and everybody pops like a motherfucker, man. And that one guy's just there, holy fuck, man. Who is this fucking dude, man? So then when he stands up, I fucking cower. And I'm like, oh, big bad Ken Shamrock gonna beat up Jamie Dundee, you fucking bully. So, but the next week after that Shamrock thing, we fly into fucking wherever, and he's on the tran with us, the little trolley thing, and I say, hey, man, how you doing, sir? Jamie Dundee. And then he goes, I know. And I said, look at Wolfie Shamrock knows my name. I was, oh, yeah, because last week, because, I mean, honestly, I don't even remember being there, man. I just remember vaguely as people told me things, you know what I'm saying, bits and pieces would come back to my memory, but I definitely just, that was a fucking long 24 hours, let me tell you.
That's definitely one of the tales from the territories.
Oh, man.
We did a show on. Jamie, have you seen the new show, Tales from the Territories?
No, I've heard of it. I heard of it. But like I told you, I don't do nothing but listen to music fucking and watch porn.
This is it. And I believe, but you could take an hour to watch this. It's everybody we know, and it's stories that...
I know, and it makes me sad and I'll cry and everything, so I don't want to do it. No. But okay, I will.
But anyway, Jerry Jarrett told a story that is kind of getting some laughs right now, but he told it as a shoot. What was the dude's name, Jimmy?
Spider Galento.
Robert Galento.
Spider Galento. Yeah, you don't remember Buddy Wayne telling us about Spider Galento? He wasn't put up with his shit wearing tape and fucking shorts.
So he's trying to take over the territory, and Roy Welch and all this goes. But anyway, long story short is that Jerry Jarrett told a story that this dude hit the ring as a shoot to beat Jerry up with a stick and all this stuff. And Lawler was in the ring and all this stuff. So Jerry Jarrett tells the story that he pulls Galento's eyeball out, literally all the way out, and it's on the mat. And, so Lawler has since, said, I was in the ring. I didn't see that. And Dutch is just making fun of it and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Which brought me to the story.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, the Vader's eyeball came out in the ring.
Yeah.
So it's possible. Yeah. It is possible.
Yes, but not all the way.
Yeah, it was like dangling.
Listen, it's only on a little string. It's on a little fucking vein thing, So I mean, honestly, a string. Yeah, it can pop out.
God.
Where I was going with that is that it's somebody said wrestlers always go for the eyeballs.
I did, because y'all do.
Yeah. Wolfie tried to poke my eye out too one time. I got a picture. Right, got a black eye.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Because I told him he loved somebody. Motherfucker poked my eye because he said he loved somebody.
It could have been more to it, man.
Yeah, might have been.
I said, you love her. He said, oh, love her, you cocksucker. And I had a handful of crack, and I was going in the fucking house to smoke crack, and Wolfie jumped on me, fucking pokes my eye out.
No.
Oh, man.
No.
Well, I jumped off the porch on him, but I never dropped that crack, brother. I never let go of that shit, bro.
I bet it was still every piece.
And then
listen, then Wolfie's at 2 a.m., he's on the fucking porch, he's hollering, Shane! Jamie! Where are you, Jamie? Oh yeah. The whole trailer park told me. The whole trailer park we did. He was on lot 9 and I was down at 14. He's hollering, Jamie. Yeah.
What was that movie about, Jamie? What was that
line? Shane. Yeah. That line was from Shane. Don't go, Shane. Yeah. That's an old
great
60s movie.
Yeah.
The old 50s and 60s movie. Don't go, Shane. My daddy did that to Jim Duggan when he left fucking Louisiana. Bill said, don't go, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, don't go.
Yeah. That's amazing. How is your dad doing?
He don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, motherfucker, how long you been here? I said, I've been here for fucking all day. You been here all day? I said, yeah, you owe me $50. Really? Yeah. At the end of the night, I was like, you owe me $500. You remember I gave you, huh, really? I'm like, yeah. How long you been here? Fucking guy. He don't know nothing.
Damn. All right. So, okay.
How many times did he ask me and you, am I going to ring with y'all? Where we going? We're going to ring y'all. What we doing? When did you get here?
Dementia's tough, man. I get it,
Yeah. But I mean, fuck, I think he's working.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, he is a
he's
worker.
working dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a worker. And my whole life, he's told me everything's a fucking work. It's a work. It's goddamn work. Shit, concerts a work. Fucking, everything's a work. Fucking TV, goddamn eating's a work. Everything's a work. So I figure he's working right now. Because that way he don't have to answer nobody or say nothing. He just says, yeah, what the fuck you doing here? Smile.
Yeah.
Smiles all the time.
Hey,
I'm like, what the fuck you so happy about, motherfucker? Huh? When you get here?
Okay. So Wolfie, I know this is kind of going off topic here, but Wolfie, I got to bring this up. So Wolfie has brought up, we actually, I helped make the music entrance for you all to the ring, and you've had Hip Hop Hooray, you've had Jump, you've had Slam, you've had all these great songs. And one time you said you wanted to use Train's Drops of Jupiter. Can you explain?
Oh my God. And listen, one time I did use, fucking, what was it? I just heard it the other day. And boy, I said, what the got mad? And said, we ain't never used this song again. In Louisville. It was Milli Vanilli or some shit. He's like, we're not using that. We're not doing it. It's like, well, damn, all right, then. But when he Trains Drops of Jupiter, that's where I felt. That's where I was at in that time in my life.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, music reflects where I am. It depends on what kind of music I listen to and what I'm doing or how I feel. I mean, for real,
Sure. Yeah.
So I mean, my heavy metal, fucking Disturbed and Stain and fucking all that hard rock. I'm ready to fucking party. Got my mohawk standing straight up, and sometimes I listen to Train Drops Jupiter and the Eagles, and I just want to, just cry or something.
I get it, man.
My feminine side.
Yeah, and I get that, and I'm not knocking the song at all, but is it a good entrance song for PG-13?
No, probably not. But here's the thing. Somebody said 2 fucking idiots in a pair of shorts with a hubcap is not a good thing for wrestling. I mean, it depends on who you ask. At that moment, I just wanted to play Train Drops of Jupiter,
Okay, good point. Hey,
everybody has an opinion on things.
Yeah, good point. I get that, man. No problem. All right. Wolfie, right. What you got, Wolfie?
Well, I was just going to say, how long we been going, Jimmy? How long?
About an hour and 10 minutes right now.
Okay.
Hell, I'm going. Bye. That's too long.
We'll start wrapping it up there in a minute.
We need to have you back for sure, brother. So
yeah. But
okay, all right.
I just want to say
now. Listen here. That's like I say. I'm bipolar. I'm fucking. I don't know. I'm all kind of shit. Yeah. I'm fucking drug free. Except pot. And my life is boring and fucking miserable. I just walk around in circles in my fucking yard, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes I don't. And don't take it personal, Wolf. I love you, but if I say I want to do something wrestling at that moment, I feel it. I want to do it. And fucking 2 hours later from now, bipolar kick in, and I'm sad, and I ain't talking to nobody. I turn my phone on. You know what I mean? That's just. Yeah. So don't take it personal, bro. I promise, man. I love you, man. But I just sometimes I'm in the mood, and other times I just got to get away, man.
No,
absolutely.
You can ask Jimmy. I get like that sometimes.
He does. I have to drag
my brother Easy Jesus Allen Coves. He's part of David Allen Coves' family.
Yeah.
He's been begging me for the last year for me and him to do a podcast. He contacted me a couple years ago, and we hit it all. And I've got all the equipment, and I'm just like, man, Easy. I don't want to start it with you and then just not show up because I don't feel like it and just disappear on you. I'm like, I just know in my life, man. I don't know. It's like I don't do nothing I don't want to or don't have to anymore. You know what I'm saying? If I don't want to, I don't have to fucking do it. I'm not. It's just, I don't know. It's not nothing personal against nobody. It's just me and my demons and me. And I just don't feel like I just want to run away from the world sometimes. I just want to get away and just be left the fuck alone and just walk around in circles in my yard like I do.
And there's nothing wrong.
And then other times I just feel like getting it off my chest.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. I do want to say this though, like publicly in front of everybody. Like we said at the beginning, some of that stuff, I was half-ass working. I was half-ass mad, just playing around. Fuck, I made a puppet.
I didn't even see half of it, though. I didn't see none of it. I just heard what people told me and shit.
Yeah. So, but my thing is we both know, without me, there would have been you, and without you, there would have been me.
That's right. 100%.
We had something very special that only happens, every team don't have what we had as far as.
That's what I meant by you can't watch it and learn it. It is or it ain't.
The hey, I know what you're fixing to do. We done this, we knew what to do. And people, we left a mark, especially in Memphis, which is what I'm most proud of, because that's what I came up with. That's what you came up with. But we were damn good, man. And if you do change,
we're still damn good. I mean, as far as if you watch our shit today, people, even the shitty wrestlers of today, no offense against the shitty wrestlers, but the shitty wrestlers of today, they would watch us and say, man, you boys fucking click, man. They can see it too. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter who you put us with, even if they couldn't work. We made them look like they could fucking work.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to say thank you, though,
For sure, 100%. Thank you. I love you, man. You're part of my family, and and shit, and family members. Just because family 90% of the time don't mean blood anyway.
Right.
Most of the time, blood family is the first one to fuck you, lie to you, steal from you, fucking do whatever.
Yeah.
But remember, man, if you do change your mind, there's opportunity for us out there. To me, it's like almost like a retirement from wrestling. You're getting paid to just fucking sign pictures. And I'm telling you, it means something to the fans, man. And I'm not saying this to try to make you feel bad.
I learned that on that other show. That I didn't know nobody would even care that I no-showed, to tell you the truth. I said it on that other show. I didn't think nobody would give a flying fuck if Jamie Dundee was there or not. And all of a sudden, everybody's mad at me. And I was like, damn, maybe somebody did care. Fuck, I'm sorry. If they care, then I'd like to do it.
Yeah. They don't want just my autograph or just a picture with me. If they're going to pay $50 for an autograph and a picture, then they want both the guys that are supposed to be.
I fully understand. Listen, I fully understand. I wanted my picture with both fucking Road Warriors, not just one of them. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. And I fully, but like I said, with all the fucking talent and genres of fucking stars, I didn't even think nobody would even know that I was supposed to be there. More or less, didn't show up. And I was like fucking shocked when I did that other show, and they said they talked to the guy, said it was the best pre-sale he had ever had at his fucking wrestling store or whatever to meet PG-13. The pre-sale. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't know that. I said, I'm in shock. I'm flattered. And if I would have known that, I might have changed my mind. Probably not, because I had 50 grand in my pocket. And I thought I was fucking smart.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, honestly, if I would have known that, I may have made a different decision. But at the time, I honestly thought, nobody's even going to fucking know I didn't make it. Yeah. More or less care,
Yeah. Right. So I want to say this. God bless Wolfie D. God bless Jamie Dundee. And God bless PG-13. Y'all are the GOATs. So let me just say.
Rock on, man. I love it. I love to hear it, man. Because we definitely didn't get enough credit in this wrestling business. But it's kind of like anything, the Hall of Fame, I don't give a fuck. Drew Carey's in it. What the fuck that tell you how much it really means?
Right.
And that makes work sense. And it's a gimmick. If the people really got to vote and their shit counted, kind of like the presidency, we wouldn't be fucking going into recession. We would still have Trump, and PG-13 would already been in the Hall of Fame if it came to working and talent and ability. I mean, for real.
There you go, man. There you go.
All right, Jamie, man. Do you want to plug anything? I know you ain't got no appearances because you don't want them. But if you want, people want to contact you, or you
start that podcast, man. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, my boy Easy Jesus, he's put a lot of work into it. So I love you. If you're a music fan such as myself, go listen to Easy Jesus. Alan Cole just dropped a new album called Pimpadelic, and check him out, man. It's my boy, man. He's down to earth. He's a real motherfucker like we are.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, man. Well, I appreciate you finally coming on, and it's been fun as always. If I
as always, entertaining as shit.
We do one thing with the watch-alongs. I think it would be really cool if we were to watch maybe a rock and roll match or something, and we talk about it.
I got every match we've ever had against each other, and fucking over there, because I carried my fucking VCR to every country or state or town we went to, so I could record the show.
That's awesome.
I got them all. I got everything. There's nothing. Matter of fact, I got so much footage, man, that I couldn't put it in the VCR and hit play. I would be dead before I could play every fucking video I got of us. That's no shit. That's no shit, man.
That's awesome.
All right, buddy. Thank you again.
All right, man.
Guys, for listening.
Thanks again, Jamie, for being on. Wolfie D, as always, you hooked it up, brother. So what we're going to do is our normal current affairs segment is going to be postponed this week. And we're going to do something special for Halloween. It's the top 10 horror gimmicks. So we'll be right back with a modified current affairs. DJ, hit the music.
It's a current affair.
All right, we're back with the top 10 horror gimmicks, non-current affairs, but it's part of where you guys get it. It's just, we're going to say our top 10 horror gimmicks. It's Halloween.
And we're being festive.
Exactly. And that's what's important on the holidays. Right. So, okay, we're not going to do our normal full show of this, but it is going to be a really quick, cool thing here. So go ahead and start us off with your number 10, Wolfie D.
All right. My number 10, a lot of people did not like this, but I'm going to tell you, go fuck yourself, because I liked it. People might think I'm crazy. This should maybe go on the top 10 worst horror gimmicks, but I'm going to say The Demon, because I'm a Kiss mark and I loved it. And as a little kid watching Memphis wrestling, I dreamed, I'm not even joking this, I would dream that Kiss would show up on Memphis wrestling and like be wrestlers.
Oh, dude. And they're so built for it, especially with the Road Warriors and Sting and Ultimate Warrior, all the painted guys. You know, that being said, though, you know, that would be a great, I love that gimmick. Dale Torborg, I don't know much about him. I know he was a baseball player or something, but yeah, dude, he just looked like Gene enough in the paint, right?
Right. It's just cool looking, and it's too bad they booked it incorrectly, and I'm not sure what correctly would have been, but
right. Yeah. Well, that's a great one. My number 10 is a buddy of yours, and it's actually a family member and a buddy, from what I've learned, did this gimmick a lot in Japan, but also in Memphis. And that one, actually, I think he got sued or was going to get sued. But anyway, this one is Doug Gilbert and Tommy Gilbert, the Nightmare Freddy gimmick.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I intentionally left, because Memphis had so many. There was Leatherface, you had Jason, you had all that. I intentionally, I mean, I thought of those, but I just, my specifics on what, qualified my list, I just didn't go with stuff that was a straight.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. And I like that. But, you know, I love that Memphis had the slasher gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? I just love that. So.
Okay. So my number 9, and this could be one you might not call horror, but I always thought it was scary and ominous. The mix between Mad Max and Jason, Lord Yes. Especially, I can't remember the first guy that did it, but Sid did it really good too. So I always liked that, especially, Lord Humongous was basically just somebody that worked Lawler, but it worked.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I mean, it was definitely a cross between Mad Max and Jason. Definitely had that vibe. And I mean, dude, he's a monster. So I love it. Well, my number 9 is your buddy, another one of your friends. I think they say fangin' and bangin' with Mr. The Brood's leader, Gangrel. I mean, if there were a real vampire in wrestling, Gangrel would have the rights to that. I feel like he had the teeth, he had the look. Man, what a cool.
All the time. He wears those teeth 24/7.
Yeah.
All the pictures, and I think he's got the retractables and made for his mouth and all that stuff. So he's the real deal, man.
I mean, he is a vampire, right?
He is.
Yeah.
So, my number 8 is where we're at, correct?
Yes, sir.
So my number 8 is the Disciples of the New Church.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
That is because we did some really cool stuff, man. We had the blood of the Audad that we came up with. It was like, it was a little container that I used to keep my weed in, and it had a dragon on top of it. And then we filled it with fake blood and held people down, and Mitchell threw some sort of thing on their forehead with blood. And, we did cool stuff. We hung Raven, CM Punk, and Julio De Niro from the balconies. I mean, we were in evil. So I think we qualify.
Absolutely. I agree. You are a definite top 10. I'll say that. Not yet on mine, though. So number 8 for me, a lot of people put him in a pair with probably our main guy here, but I feel like he deserves his own listing on the top 10 horror gimmicks, and that one is Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer.
Yeah, I would have not thought that you would have used him alone.
Yeah,
but I mean, he was very spooky as the fuck did they call Paul Bearer? Sorry. I couldn't get Percy Pringle out of my head.
Yeah.
With blonde hair.
Well, I'm a manager guy, so of course.
True. All right, so we are at my number 7.
Yes, sir.
Mankind. I don't know how to lead into that one any better than just Mankind. I mean, the promos with him rocking back and forth, and, all that stuff. Not to mention the style of wrestling. And he did it well, man.
He really did, and it was a really cool gimmick. I love that he had those. He was down in the basement in the boiler room and stuff. Yeah, very cool. So, well, my number 7 it's actually one of the more current names that really seems to have everybody focused on him right now. He's been Husky Harris, he's been Wyndham Rotunda, but most people know him as Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. Dude, I just feel like this guy gets it. I feel like he's an old soul. Obviously, comes from 3rd generation. He's, Mike Rotunda, Blackjack Mulligan. I mean, Jamie talked about it earlier about 2nd generation guys. 3rd generation guys are even more ingrained. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that one's my number 7, Bray Wyatt.
Okay, so we're at my number 6. My number 6, you already said it, wrestling's Vampire Gangrel.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Well, since we're doing that, my number 6 is your old buddy again. This guy, I know you got to know him when you were living down in Florida. I thought he played a great character. He was his own Dangerous Dan, but at the same time, I think he did this character so well. Is based off of Max Cady from the Cape Fear movie, especially the Robert De Niro version. Now, again, my number 7, Bray Wyatt, copied this guy a lot, and this is Dan Spivey's Waylon Mercy. I just thought that was such a great gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan's a scary dude, man, just in person, man.
Yeah.
As much in his younger days, but just as he's gotten older, man, he's kind of gotten more grizzled looking, and he's a scary dude. He's big as shit.
Dude.
Awesome dude, though. Awesome dude. Where we at? Number 5?
Yes, sir.
All right, my number 5. I really like this just because it was creepy and way different than anything else that I think wrestling has offered. Very original. The Boogeyman.
Oh, yeah. It's a great gimmick. I don't get the worms, but hey, I don't have to put him in my mouth.
It's scary.
It is. It's gross and scary, and he seems to be evergreen. I mean, they've definitely figured out a way to not have him wrestle, but have him around, and it's good for him. I always like to see the guys get on there and get paydays and stuff, and I feel like he's probably always got a place in WWE. I don't know if he's like a Hall of Famer or anything, but at the same time, it's good to see that,
That look is really cool,
And so my number 5, a lot of people are going to question why he's so low on the list, but my number 4 through 1, I think, have to make room for it. So number 5 to me, he's the Big Red Machine, the mayor of Knox County. His name is Kane.
My God, it's Kane.
My God. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has to be on this list. That's not the same number as mine. But definitely has to be on this list of creepy characters.
Yeah.
And definitely a Hall of Famer.
Oh, 100%. Fix them potholes. Anybody that drives through Knoxville knows.
My number 4 may surprise you, but I think it's creepy as hell, and it's the only woman on my list of Sue Young.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that is a great gimmick, and honestly, one of the bright spots in Impact Wrestling, in my opinion,
I think it's just that whole, the Ring vibe and the Japanese horror film vibe, and, from what you call. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen her wrestle in that gimmick, but I've seen her wrestle, back before she ever started that, and I thought she was pretty good, so I would assume she's pulling it off well. I'm going on the look on that one of just, that's pretty creepy looking.
Yeah, that's a great one. And unfortunately, I didn't have her on my list, but I totally agree. She's a great one. So my number 4 is actually probably my favorite gimmick of all time, or one of them. And I feel like it could have had so much more to do. Maybe they just thought it ran out of steam. Charles Wright is a great guy. He did Kama, he did, The Godfather and all that. But to me, my favorite gimmick he ever did, and one of the favorite gimmicks of all time for me, is Papa Shango. I love that gimmick. Oh my God.
This list was a little bit hard for me because I love gimmicks, and that's favorites too. then there was just other stuff, and because that one was definitely on my list. And right when we were talking about Boogeyman, it started making me think of that, and I was like, to myself, I'm thinking, man, I didn't put that on my list. Sorry.
Yeah, to me, it would be my number one, but I'm being kind of reasonable here, and I know what my number one, and I know what yours is probably too. But anyway, I thought he made a good number 4 because my top 3, I think, are stellar. So we'll just go with that. So,
okay, number 3.
Yes. Yeah.
My number 3, we've already talked about Kane. Not much else to really say there. Me and you just had him ranked a little differently.
Absolutely. Yeah, not much else. Well, my number 3 is a former guest of ours, and we would love all of these. You know, if they're living now, we would love all of them to be on our show. You hear me, Doug? You hear me, Gangrel? You hear me, Dan? And whatever, all that. But number 3 is an actual guest that's been on our show. When I was a kid, I thought this guy was so legitimately evil. I really believed that he could kill Dusty Rhodes, that he could drive a golden spike through anyone he came across. His bigger, time with this character, I've learned later, came in the Florida territory and Championship Wrestling from Florida. But I think he kept it, even through the Dungeon of Doom and everything with Kevin Sullivan and the Prince of Darkness. I thought that made sense for him to be number 3.
That's a really good one. It really is. I also, another one that I thought about was that one. But mine are more gimmicky than even that was,
Yeah.
And there's who did I just have in my head? Oh, yeah. I bet you don't have this one on your list. And I'm just going to say this as an honorable mention because I guarantee you don't have it on your list. But I was seriously debating Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah. Dude.
Hell.
He was scary as hell. And he was bloody and he would jab people with forks. Dude, that's a legitimate horror gimmick. Yeah.
But, all right. So we are at what? Number 2?
You're number 2. Yes, sir.
And so I'm going to be honest with you, man. And I'm just going to go for it here and call me crazy. But my number 2 is The Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
Here's why. I'll just have to give you my number 1 in a minute and then kind of explain. Because I really didn't know which one I wanted to go with there on this. But
okay.
Go ahead and give me your number 2.
My number 2 could have been my number 1 in my heart, but I know it's probably number 1 in your heart too, is Father James Mitchell and the Disciples of the New Church featuring my main homie Slash. And
we did some fun stuff, man.
Your music, some evil stuff. You guys had characters coming in and out. Every one of them worked. I mean, honestly, it was the reason I watched early TNA. I mean, I was buying pay-per-views just to watch mainly y'all because it was some great stuff. And then honestly, when, everything came about, you got a TV spot, all this stuff, loved it. You were a great fixture. I think it elevated your career, or it maybe even just took it on a different path.
Yeah.
But dude, I just watched this recent show called Impact and 60, and it's just a brief 1-hour show where they play old matches from TNA. And the whole show was to the Disciples of the New Church, and you were in every match, man. And y'all go back and watch some of those matches. I know a lot of our listeners have already watched these matches and understand, but y'all were great, and I'm going to stand on that. So
appreciate that. So I'm going to give you my number 1, and then, like I said, I'm going to talk about my number 2 and why I kind of flip-flopped them here. And people might think I'm crazy, but number 1 is Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. Whatever you want to call it. Now, the reason I'm giving it to that, because some of these promos and these promo codes and some of this stuff has made it even that extra creepier. I even think the Firefly Funhouse made it a little creepy. And I honestly think that if he continues on with the number of years that The Undertaker did, this is this generation's Undertaker.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I just, man, it's hard for me because, I think why I took The Undertaker down, because there was a point in there, like I like the Ministry of Darkness shit where they were crucifying people and stuff like that. Not so much the American Badass Undertaker. But it kind of, I love the very first Undertaker, all that stuff. But when it hit there, it kind of just went, man, y'all are turning him into a real person.
Right.
And then he went from he went from, this mysterious dude to American Badass. Oh, Mark, you start putting his real name with it, Mark Calloway. And then you go back to The Undertaker, where at that point, he's getting the love out of respect for his time, tenure, and his legendary status, I think. Not to say that he didn't kind of go back to the old Undertaker, but once it went to the American Badass, it lost it for me. I still appreciate it, still love it, still think it's one of the greatest gimmicks ever. But to me, that took away, and that's why I swapped number 2 and number 1.
Hopefully Bray doesn't have this in his career where he has a speed bump in his horror style.
Right.
But, that may eventually happen if he has a long enough character. I totally agree and cannot disagree with that. My number 1, obviously, is The Undertaker. But at the same time, I feel like The Undertaker is what he is because of the horror gimmick. And the American Badass would have never happened had he not been the horror gimmick. So anyway, I know that's kind of just arguing something that we both technically agree on, but my thinking is I totally agree, but at the same time, the overall peak of his career was totally the Dead Man. And I think I was out of watching wrestling that much when he was the American Badass. I feel like that was kind of a little bit post the Attitude Era. And, it just kind of had died out a little bit. Now I was watching more like ECW and the underground stuff at that point. But with that being said, there's no wrong there. You're not wrong for making Bray Wyatt your number 1. I'm not wrong for making The Undertaker, because I feel like in the sense they are going to be seen in the same light when it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly. And we're just making a little goofy Halloween list. That's
exactly.
And I kind of argued with myself on it. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go the opposite way that everybody thinks I'm going to go.
Yeah. Now I'm going to piss off Mike Jablonski because, Mike Jablonski's pissed off all the time.
Oh, is he?
My honorable mention is Danhausen.
Oh, okay.
He's just, it is a great gimmick, but he's just not a good wrestler,
But he's definitely not scary.
No, he's very nice and very whatever.
Evil.
What is it?
Nice.
Yeah. And Mike, I'm sure you've already clicked stop now, so just deal with it, buddy. And of course, the Dungeon of Doom and all them, you got to put them on there. But, I wanted to have Doug on there because I thought the Nightmare Freddy gimmick, but explain that a little bit to me. You're saying his dad did the gimmick more.
His dad did it, from my understanding, his dad did it more or he started it, and then Doug over in Japan, I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's cool, man. I just thought we would have a little fun. We, of course, were planning to spread this out over a whole show, which I think, Jamie was the right choice anyway. So
hard to go around that.
Yeah.
Gun. But anyway, I hope everybody has a safe Halloween.
Absolutely.
And trick or treat and smell my feet. Give me something good to eat. For Jimmy across the street and even Jamie Dundee, y'all have a happy Halloween. And thank you again for listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is the big picture, Michael Jablonski. Don't forget to tune in every week to Jablonski's Pissed Off on the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling YouTube channel.
The heartthrob in the sport, he's gonna tell you all about it. He doesn't care what you think, you're gonna hear all about it. Mike Jablonski.
has been completely divided for so long. Two movie fans have decided to unite for the people and the betterment of mankind. One, an action movie buff. The other, a horror movie fanatic. Together, they will try to bridge the gap of both genres into one podcast with their battle cry, Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. Listen along as Charlie and Nate alternate each week talking about action and horror movies they cherish, mostly from the VHS era. Also, including some modern examples that felt like the movies they grew up with by answering the battle cry, Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Look them up on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome to the Monster Movie Stompdown, where twice a month we review monster movies from all corners of the planet. Join me, Sludge.
I went to watch it the other night, and she's like, "Why are you watching this? You can quote this movie line for line." That's very accurate.
My co-host, Mark.
Don't ask me to do a stomp down on this because it's 0. Okay, dude.
Ruben, what's your stomp down rate?
And our brother from Texas, Ruben.
It's just, I'm like, wait a minute. They tricked me into watching this.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
As we give you the history, our review, and the stomp down rating of some of the best and worst monster movies around. Available through the Podbean app, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Amazon. Make sure and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, it's the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze, and I'm inviting all of y'all to join me on my podcast, Turning Up the Heat with the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. Yep, that's me talking to you right now. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join me. I'll be covering all the events of the day, global, national, pop culture, movies, gaming, whatever sounds interesting. I'll also be playing some awesome skating shuffle music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Anything that has a good beat, I'm going to be playing it. You can rest assured. So what are you waiting for? Come on over from my website, tuthradio.com. The podcast is on every major podcast platform. Join me, won't you? See you then.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at Warren Wolf 13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Live Wolfie D. And then on YouTube at Live and in Color with Wolfie D Podcast. Our website is anchor.fm/Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. Also, do you have a product or business you'd like Wolfie D to talk about? Let us know about it by leaving a recorded message over at anchor.fm/Wolfie D/message. Leave your name and contact info and we'll get back to you. Once again, that's anchor.fm/Wolfie D/message. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening. And we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. And here we go. The original white
boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color, from Rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are, without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip-hop. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.